This was going to be highly inappropriate, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
You could tell already.
We've all been cancelled.
Yeah.
2 businesses down with rain.
It's all right, we'll just set another
So
one
I'll
up.
start another one. I have no shortage of business names.
Yeah. Next one is Sharma Michael Group. Yeah, Sharma Michael Group. Tech Rock.
Tech Rock, yeah.
Tech Rock, yeah.
It's got to be bomb related.
Tech
though.
Rules.
It's got to be bomb related, otherwise Tristan's not involved.
Is that part of the contract?
Phoebe's like, this is the fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen.
She's out there like texting her
She's only
sister.
been with us- she's only been with us about
You
3
sure
or
I
4
can't come and work for you?
Yeah. These 3 middle-aged men.
Right,
just
do you want to
don't
wear clappers in, mate?
Are you going for it?
Well, yeah, go on then.
Claps before and afterwards, ideally. That's all right. When we finish, I get an applause as well.
So there's a timer up there. We normally aim for about 35, 40 minutes.
Perfect. Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
good. Yeah. That's fine, because my next piss should be,
You brought the
Brought
seal
the
now.
seal,
So you have to go midway through. Ready? Welcome back to RecTalk, UK's #1 recruitment podcast by some metric. I'm going to keep saying that until we cotton on and catch on. Our guest today is the infamous Will Grashoff of, is it OX7 or OX7?
OX7.
OX7.
Definitely OX, yeah.
Why OX? What is OX?
Play on a postcode, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah,
Right.
100%, yeah.
I knew it.
Makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
When I set it up, I had no desire to name a business, and I just was working with our website guy, and I was like, what should I call it? He goes, just call it OX7. And I was like, oh, go on then, because I quite like the word, the number 7. So, because I support Man United, so it's
Cristiano Ronaldo and
Beckham.
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 And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, George
That's all
Best,
the best ones.
Some of the greats.
All the greats. So yeah,
Not just Darren Huckabee though.
Darren Huckabee was a boy.
Yeah, for Cov City. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a season ticket fan. Season ticket holder.
For
For
coffee.
Cov.
Highfield Road. Yeah.
Did you?
Did
Yeah,
you bollocks?
McDonald's
What have
family
you got
stand.
to do with Coventry?
Proximity.
What proximity? How far away are you?
I'm about 30 miles away. I'm a place called Brackley.
Of course, yeah, Northamptonshire.
It's really,
Northamptonshire.
really Northamptonshire, yeah.
Stay away from our team.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I used to go to Cov all the time, and we went back and you remember when Dave Booth broke his leg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there.
That was
You were
great,
there?
that was.
Yeah.
He showed me the scar once.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, I've
fucking
seen it,
grim.
He still walks like really funny.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
it's
he's involved in
terrible,
Cov United now quite a bit.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Cov United are like what are they like tier fucking 5 non-league
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that.
All I know is that their current coach, Ivor Lawton, interviewed with us to be a recruitment consultant, and we
No.
rejected him because he was
Really?
shit.
Because he was fucking rubbish.
You were shit.
Oh, well, you were pretty terrible, to be fair.
And we gave him feedback. We told him that, like we
Yeah.
were saying off camera, like we have a thing where if we interview for our team and we're like, yeah, it's not right, we tell them there and then, look,
Yeah.
no, you're a no. These are the reasons why.
Yeah.
Work on this, work on that, and that, and you know, who knows, maybe in the future. And yeah, so we told him, like, listen, it's a no, and he was sort of like, I'm genuinely shocked. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, well, you know,
I thought I smashed it.
I thought I smashed it. Well, what part of this interview did you think you smashed? You retard! Like, yeah, no, he weren't very good.
He was one of these where the accountability piece just sat with somebody else all the time, weren't it?
Yeah, it's
Remember
always
that?
someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst one we ever had was, remember that girl that interviewed for us? And we found out she was a student after.
Oh yeah.
So
She
so
kept referring to the place that she lives
as an accommodation.
as an accommodation, and I was
so
like,
she basically
what the
interviewed with
fuck?
us. She applied for a resourcer role, and she'd moved up from London. And it was like, we were like, oh, so why did you move from London? Was it like family or what? And she was just like, oh, I just need to get away. And we were like, get away from what exactly? And she was like, no, I had a lot of stuff going on at home. I need to get away. So I moved up to Coventry. And we were like, okay, but it's a fucking weird place to just suddenly up and move, right?
Yeah,
Surely
shithole. Yeah.
it is a fucking shithole, isn't it? I mean, you've seen the best place of all, Highfield Road.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's a fucking shithole. Like, I don't understand why. And then Nitin said straight out, he's like, are you going to uni here? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay, so but why Coventry then? Have you got any family affiliations? Like, what drove you to Coventry? Why not Birmingham or like Manchester or
Something
whatever?
good.
Yeah, well, this is it. Not like Brackley.
Yeah.
And then it came out later that she was like, oh, well, I've got some cousins in that here. And then the interview lasted about an hour and a half, and we were really kind of grilling it because something was just a bit off. And then at the end of the interview, or we ended the interview at that point, she was like, look, I'll be honest, I am a full-time law student, and but to be fair, I passed all my exams without going to any lectures. And we were like,
Well done.
yeah, we're like, okay, that's beside the point. How are you going to be here and at your lectures at the same
Because
time?
they're all online lectures. I'll just have them on in the background.
Really?
And I was just like, you scummy little cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so pissed off at that point. I just fucking closed my laptop. I was like, fuck this. I walked out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not. So you deal with this.
Yeah, you fucking wanker. He left me there. I was like, So needless to say, it's a no. Thank
So
you
we'll
for
be
your
in
time.
touch.
You weren't successful.
So yeah, you were saying you've never just rejected a candidate in an interview then?
No, I've not. And to be honest, right, I'm very much someone who's open to learning, better ways of doing things. And I must admit, there's probably been countless times where I've known him interview it's a no. And it's a very obvious no, but I've probably made that person hold on for like 2-3 days.
Well, because life gets in the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the benefit though? Why would you not give on the it's a no?
Just make them really want it.
No, it's because I'm a pussy and I don't like delivering bad news. Like I will feel bad about someone rejecting someone.
An easy way to do that, right, is you just have like 2 envelopes, right? So this is your feedback.
Yeah.
Don't open it till you get.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, no, to be fair, it was the same with us in that we didn't like saying no over a phone call or that kind of thing because it's just unfair, right?
Yeah.
But equally, we found straight away like when he's thinking, no, this ain't the one. I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Or there'd be times where like I'm 50-50 on this person. Are we going to get them back in for the role play type bit? And Sean is just like, look, I'm going to be honest. It's we're going to do a role play. Yeah.
Yeah.
They choose their outfit. Yeah.
But there's a selection just in the other room. Yeah.
I'm Mr. Belvedere. You get to choose whoever you want to be, but I'm always Mr. Belvedere. Yeah, no, so, but there'd be times where I'm like, I'm 50-50, and he'd be like, look, it's a no. And I'm like, okay, at least we know it's a no.
Well, Nitin and I've got this thing where it's we veto each other. So, like, if one of us is a no, it's a no for the process.
Yeah.
Whereas if one of us are like, or if kind of we're both in a place where it's like, it's 50-50,
Yeah.
he might be convinced I'm a little bit 50-50, we'll go with it. But if one of us cancels the other out, it's just, we never really spoke about it. It's just an ongoing
like
thing that's just sort of developed.
Fairness,
That's wicked though. Like I think it's a much more honest way of doing things.
Yeah.
And like I will do that going forward.
Try it. Like I said, we've never had anybody be like, well, I think that's really unprofessional that you've just done that. They're always really great.
Apart from that Dizzy Cow, who was the uni student,
but you slammed your laptop shut and went, you've wasted my time and walked out.
You wait till I pass my degree. I'll come back and I'll sue you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. We won't be here. It'll be a Deco's problem by then. A Deco, please buy us.
Yeah.
So
although be quick because GI Group are on the on the bra.
So you guys have been going just over 5 years?
Just coming up to 5 years. Our 5th birthday in March.
So you've got OX and you exclusive, right?
Yeah, I've got 2.
So talk us through the.
I've got 2.
Yeah, I've got 2.
You got 2. We got.
He's only a
6.
co-founder of. You got 1.5, mate.
1.5. Well, so OX7, 5 years old. We're a generalist agency, right? So I've always been a generalist recruiter. I've never nailed my kind of niche, right? Because I've just like my. To be honest, I think if you can understand a business and you can, comprehend what they need in the right way, you can recruit for them. It doesn't really matter, right? Like I'm not one of these people like you have to have a network of people in a certain sector to be able to go and recruit, right?
Not this day and age. No,
I'm kind of
I agree with
I've
that.
got access to the same people that everyone else has. So OX7 started out as being a generalist, and we probably work. I mean, look, you look at the consultants I've got at the moment. We've got someone who does drug discovery, food.
As in recruits for.
No, that's a really cool way of putting it.
His job title is head of drug discovery.
Sky does that on the weekends, don't you, Sky? Drug discovery.
Oh, she's got headphones in. She's not even paying attention.
But so yeah, he does head of drug discovery. So he works with like pre-release. So basically, the people who create the drugs before they give to the pharmaceutical companies, right? Then we've got food production, FMCG, marketing, education.
So you got people who look after kind of sectors
within
sectors in okay.
So they do a lot within that, right? And then I would say for the last 2 years or so, I was like working a lot of events roles with event agencies and that kind of stuff. And I was like, I love this. Like the people in it are genuinely interesting. Like when you talk to them, they talk about the events they've done and the stuff they've done. You're like, I actually think this is quite interesting. Like I enjoy talking to you. And for me, like work is an inconvenience for life. Like you have to work, right? You can't do anything else. So I want to do something I enjoy. I want to do.
You could be in the drug discovery game.
Well,
and therefore you wouldn't have to.
I mean,
you wouldn't have to work.
No,
that's the drug distribution game. Slightly different.
It's yeah. But yeah, so anyway, I was like, look, I love the events industry, and there's a guy who works in events called Robert Kenwood, who is
we know Robert Kenwood,
like a very, very well respected person in the sector, and he only does retained, he only does above 60k, so he has all of these roles beneath 60k where people go to him and they're like, can you do this? I don't know, senior account manager, 55k. He's like, no. Can you do this? Account director for £59,900. No, I won't do it.
How fucking
60k.
dare you?
Don't insult me.
Don't get out of bed for anything less than 60 grand, mate.
That is, I mean, that was literally his LinkedIn headline for a while.
Excellent.
But he is like so knowledgeable and so well connected, and like just he's got his own methodology, right, and his own process, which is actually like a very, very good way of doing recruitment. And like when we first met, which was kind of like through lockdown, like I thought, being honest with you, I thought it was a bell end. I thought he was a dick, and he has partially changed my opinion on him over here. No, but what he doesn't know about the events recruitment world isn't worth knowing. Who he doesn't know isn't worth knowing. So like he wanted to use someone who was like actually very good at what he do, and bragging.
Guilty.
Yeah. He kind of grilled me really on what we do. So we started U Exclusive together. So that was like we about 12 months ago. We started like testing the concept and making sure.
Pull up his LinkedIn. Let's have a look at him.
So we tested the concept, and we spent the last 12 months doing.
Who's it? Rob
Kenwood.
Yeah. And essentially, I've run U Exclusive since mid kind of June, July time.
Kenwood, not Kenwood.
Kenward. Or Robert Kenwood, actually. Sorry, there he
is. There he is, right at the top.
Fitability.
Fitability.
So fitability is his whole retained kind of process, right? So in the easiest possible way, like he's been passing us roles that below his threshold.
Yeah.
So it's given us a massive head start, right? So we're both co-founders. He does talks at seminars. He does talks at all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And he's really trying to get me involved.
I've had him on LinkedIn for
like,
a while. Yeah, it's really
he's
interesting stuff he puts out.
Really interesting guy. So so I've got U Exclusive running kind of alongside OX7. So in our office we've got OX7 and we've got U Exclusive. Although if West Northamptonshire Council are watching this, there's only one business in our premises at the moment. So
as far as business rates are concerned, it's one business, mate.
It's one business. So he that's how kind of U Exclusive came about. And being honest, I've loved being a niche consultant or like billing. So I'm still an active biller. I love billing. I love talking to people. Like the fit in it sounds so pathetic and sad, but there's nothing more that excites me than looking at my diary and thinking I've got back-to-back calls with candidates, for jobs I'm working on. Like it's a really loserish thing to think, but I do really enjoy it. Like,
that's why you get to feature on the RecTalk podcast, mate. You know what I mean?
I'm going to sit here and talk passionately about this.
I'm so grateful for.
What is the...
And I'm so grateful for you paying my travel expenses and getting me premium lagers. That's very kind of you,
we were this close to buying you Morrison's premium lager. Just because you mentioned it. I was like, that's really funny.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
I said to Nick straight away, I was like, Will seems like the kind of guy that loves a brewdog.
Yeah, I said we were commenting back and forth.
He seems like the sort of guy that will love a brewdog.
Yeah.
And because of that, Brewdog, James Watt sent out a. So we got some product placement today from Brewdog. Thanks, guys. They sent us out some free Hazy Janes.
Well, they're not free. They want us to invoice them for that marketing space.
Well, it doesn't surprise me because they're fucking scumbags. So.
I mean, he hates recruiters for starters.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Not RecTalk. He likes RecTalk, which is why he sponsored us today.
Yeah. He hates recruiters, but he loves women. So, but no, if you want to try a much better beer, try Jabel.
Tristan,
give a Jabel up, boy.
Stop ogling the Brewdog can, mate. Start finding us Jabel.
Yeah, Jabel is the absolute elite.
Spell it out for him because he did think
J-U
Paul Robb's name was Kennelwood.
B-L. You got HR department?
Nah.
You're looking at it.
Yeah, fuck HR.
Yeah, fuck HR.
It's fucking amazing.
Dangerously refreshing.
Yeah, so we have a we order drinks every
gluten free, vegan free, alcohol free.
No.
Sounds a bit mamby-pamby, man.
No, it's not. It's not mamby-pamby. It's really bloody good.
You sure? It says UK's best fruit beer.
Yeah.
What the fuck's a fruit beer?
No, it's
just
nice to taste it.
Yeah.
All of it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah. I'm not one of these. Like,
while I'm sat here drinking my wine.
I know, yeah.
Nick's the sort of guy that loves his fucking IPAs and shit like that, and like really fucking harsh tasting beers. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of a Corona and lemon kind of guy.
Yeah, me too. Great session beer it is. So
Jubel.
So yeah.
Oh, Jubel. Yeah, I suppose you could have a few of them, couldn't you?
You can have fucking loads of them, mate.
Yeah. Do you know I'm not much of a beer drinker?
No, he's not. Yeah, he gets all bloated and starts burping.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got like 2 now. And But I can, wine. I can fucking pan wine all day long.
I don't know wine. It's just not.
It's 'cause you're uncultured swine.
Weird, isn't it? Because you're the same age group as us. So I got to a point where I was just sort of like, yeah, beer's all right in that, but it's a bit like, just reminds me of like, you know what I mean? On the dance floor and be like, burping into a group of blokes and be like, it's your problem, mate. Yeah, and now it's like I want to sit down and have a nice little. Me and my closest pal, we found a little. It's a hotel, so it's the old Coventry Telegraph head office.
You would know, being a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
They turned it into a hotel and like a little restaurant and bar, and the bar is amazing because it's just quiet. You can hear yourself thinking. Every now and then, a little jazz trumpet plays. You know, a bit of jazz music in the background.
It's not too dark.
Tell me you're getting old. Tell me you're getting old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And the toilets have hand towels.
Oh my
like, you know what I mean? That's classy shit.
Yeah.
So, it's a bit dirty though, isn't it? Like if you
no. When I say hand towels, I mean like paper towels, not like a fucking towel.
Yeah,
everybody.
Did you hear hand towel then? As in like
It's a night. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
If that makes it less classy now.
They have like paper towels.
Yeah, everybody has paper. I think we've got paper towels somewhere.
No,
Doesn't make us a fine dining establishment, does it?
It's nice.
4 out of 5.
I recommend it. But yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm not. Yeah, I can drink wine. I can't drink vodka because I get really like knobbish on vodka.
Yeah. I used to drink a lot of vodka, but now not so much for the same reason. So
my reasons are different. It makes my pee stop working. It just doesn't work.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't know how or why.
There must be some science behind it somewhere.
Maybe.
Is there any science behind it?
Yeah.
Just done.
What's the link between vodka and impotence? Seriously.
Type in vodka and erection and see what comes up.
Yeah. Then the lack thereof. Like, see, that's it. There's the problem.
That's what it does. Yeah.
So you've been you've been doing this 5 years. What made you go it alone? And you have gone it alone, right? You haven't got a business partner or an investor in OX7.
So let me tell the story.
Oh, here we go.
Well, scroll down because there was a period of Wallace Hind, wasn't there?
Yeah, we'll come to your like extensive 4 months at Wallace Hind.
Yeah. So commercial director at Selection Matters.
So Selection Matters was a high street agency, right? So we did temps and perms.
So selection didn't really matter then, did it? Because it football mattered.
Have you got a pulse? Yeah, you got a job. So when I was I've been really lucky and I fell into a lot of jobs, right? The job before Selection Matters, before recruitment, I was working for a pharmaceutical medic, right? Who was essentially
Did it make you wear a lab coat?
No, he didn't wear a good. He did make me change the stuff in the toilet too, right? So fucking pissing. So he was like, look, I've got 3 businesses. I ain't got time to run them, and I need someone to do it for me. So at the time, my missus was his PA. My ex-missus was his PA. And
good save.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Good save.
Tristan head about that. So he was like, "Do you want to come and just do me a business plan on what you do in my 3 businesses?" One was a pharmaceutical software company. One was like a Medi-Spa. And one was a property company. So me being I can do whatever I fucking
always spend your money, mate.
Yeah, easy peasy. I did it, and it's like, that's actually really good. Do you want to come and work for me? So I did that. So I worked for him for like 3 or 4 years, and then it came to an end. And during that time, we were using a recruitment agency called Selection Matters, and that's how I met the guy and his wife who ran Selection Matters at the time, a guy called Duncan. And he was like, I was like, look, Duncan, could you help me find another job, please? Don't know what the fuck I can do because I'm essentially an idiot, but I can just talk to people and get on and do stuff. So he was like, do you want a job with me? I was like, what do you mean? Yeah. He's like, he sat me down to write recruitment, and I was like, I am not leaving your office till you offer me a job. Like, give me the fucking job. So he's like, oh, go on then. Just stuck with him now. So
scared of you now.
Yeah. He's been very aggressive in asking for the job, and I'm a little bit scared you're going to do something crazy.
Do that with clients and candidates.
Yeah. Take the fucking job. So he essentially gave me a job, and I worked for him for I was doing the perm stuff within a temp agency, right? So high street temps, but we do perm. So a lot of time I'd be like, oh yeah, we need two warehouse assistants, but we also need like a marketing manager or whatever on a perm basis. So I would do all the perm stuff, and we kind of built up, and it was pretty good. Like, I took to it quite easily. I don't think recruitment is that difficult,
No, we were the same. Yeah. You seem to get it, and you're like, pennies drop. This is piss easy.
Yeah,
I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this.
Do you know
Or
what
you're like, I don't want to do this. BD calls are too hard.
yeah.
I think. Do you know what I think the difference is those people that come from shitty sales jobs and go into recruitment after appreciate the kind of because mate, I was nearly selling fucking urinal cakes in a lab coat, right?
I'd have loved to have seen you in a lab coat.
Yeah, Ecolabs, shout out. Where is he? Matt Hogg, shout out to you, mate. Nearly got me that job at Ecolabs.
But he's not that good. He didn't get the job, did he? So.
I rejected it. But yeah, I mean, car sales, mobile phone sales.
Yeah,
like,
sales jobs in general
Just
are pretty
shitty
shit,
sales
aren't they?
jobs,
So
right?
you jump into recruitment and you're like, fuck, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Whereas
Firstly, it's
I suppose a lot of the time, and it's Monday to Friday, no weekends, and
There's
you
no
find a lot.
urinals involved.
Yeah, well, there are, but
Do time,
don't get to wear a lab coat though. That's the shit.
no. But then, like, you know, if you've come from that sales, retail sales, or like you know, kind of hospitality sales, door to door,
sales,
that sort of
yeah.
stuff, it's a pretty easy sales gig. Whereas you often find those that don't sort of stick it out or work out in recruitment, like the ones that we've hired previously, where they can do the job, they're really good at it. They're just like, I just don't like BD and blah blah blah. You're like, it's because you don't like sales. The problem is you're not a salesperson. You want an admin job. Yeah. And most people go off and done that.
Yeah, a lot of people try and like dress recruitment up as something that it isn't, which is like it is a sales job. It is target driven. It is commission based and all of that sort of stuff. So why shy away from that?
Yeah.
Like why not just? I say to my candidates all the time. Listen, the higher your salary, the higher my fee. So the more money I get you, the more I'm going to get, right?
That's
so
exactly what you say.
it's in my best interest.
It's in both our interests to get as much money.
Yeah, of course it is, right? And that's not me lying about it. That's just me being dead honest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're going to sit there and say to me, I want 60k, but actually the job is only offering 45k, I'm going to ask you.
Or equally, the candidates that are at that 60k bracket are a damn sight better. Then it's our job to be like honest with you. Listen, you ain't going to get 60 grand.
Yeah,
you're more likely to get this. Let's get you that instead.
But so we're very similar to that. So like I always say, first and foremost, my job is to get you the job, right? Secondly, my job is to get you as much as money as possible because I get paid based on how much I get you. So like everyone's happy. But
so why did that come to an end then? What
they
happened
sold a business, so they sold it to a much
bastards.
larger company called Quest. But they were like, it was such a great learning experience because it was fast paced. It was like, you know, KPIs. It was like do this, do that, and you know they were both. It was a husband and wife business, and I had exposure to everything they went through, and they worked so hard, like so hard in everything they did. So like, you know, you would get emails from them at like 5:30 in the morning and like 11:30 at night on the same day, and like, don't get me wrong, I was like, crikey, like that is absorbing your life, but I was like, I respect the hustle. Like I can see what you've built, I can respect what you've done, and to be honest, up to that point, I've done the minimum amount of work possible to get by and not get fired in every job I've ever done. You know, I'm inherently lazy, so whatever I can do to make my life easier, I would do it. But I was seeing these people who built this like mini empire and who are now selling it to a big business and getting probably a very good amount of money.
Good chunk of change for it.
Fair play. Like I can see why you're emailing me at all hours of the day. So anyway, they sold the business and they sold it to a big company called Quest. Fuck Quest. Who are very industrial and they're like
Quest Employment, yeah.
Quest Employment, yeah. You now need to go to the Northampton head office if you want to do perms and sit within this team. And I was like, fuck that, I ain't gonna do that. Nah. No, I just had like 2 years of really pretty good billing. You know, my first 2 years in recruitment, I'd probably billed like very decent amounts, and so.
Scared of the figure though, you're gonna drop it.
Well, year 1, 136k. Year 2, 153.
What was your commission structure in?
So it's actually very similar to what. Well, actually, it's similar-ish to what I was on now. So we'd have a threshold of cost of business. So my salary at the time, and then whatever kind of the other operational costs were, which is minimal.
Share of
that's it,
office rent,
exactly,
blah blah blah. Yeah.
So
roughly what sort of 3-5k ish.
Yeah.
Threshold?
Well, it was about 3k. My thing was, and then you get 10% on anything between that and 10k. As soon as you hit 10k, you get paid out your commission, paid out your threshold, and then it was 15% above that, and then it was 20% above 20k. So I'll be honest, there wasn't many months I did above 20k, but most of them between 10 and 20. So like it was.
Yeah. A placement a month is going to get you commission. 2 placements a month, you're going to get a nice little chunk for your worth. Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad at all, really. So, but I was like, I've got a bit of, I've got 2 years of saying that this is what I've done, right? And at the time, I didn't realise, that actually what I was billing was pretty good for someone who's a rookie.
Yeah.
And so I kind of pimped myself out a little bit to Recs and whatever. I had a few interviews with businesses and they turned me down. They're like, you're too much. Like you're a fucking knobhead. I was like, oh, fucking hell. And then I found Wallace Hines. So I met with Matt and Phil at Wallace Hines.
Shout out to Matt.
Shout out to Matt Hogg, yeah. Ecolab King.
Ecoleg, yeah. 7 foot tall.
Yeah, 7 foot tall, yeah. Face like the man from Art Attack.
No, not Noel. Neil?
No, not Neil Buchanan. You know what?
No, you mean the head?
The head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, So Tristan edited that out as well.
Yeah. Matt the head.
Yeah. But anyway, I sat down with those two, and I was like, fucking hell, like the commission's better, but it's all retained. And I was like, retained does sound better, like you're getting paid up front, blah blah blah. So they offered me a job, and I was like, yeah, I'll fucking take it. Shizzle. So I basically went in there kind of like October 2017.
2017, yeah.
Called you LinkedIn, mate.
Yeah. Shit, call me out now. Yeah. He's lying, actually. But my daughter was born in July 2017, so I was like, I just had a newborn baby, blah, blah, blah. So their training was the best training I've ever had on anything ever. Like, better than school.
Really? Oh, okay.
I learned more than I learned in GCSE, like, times or whatever. Their training was incredible.
What was so good about it?
Because they showed me best practice. They were like, look, we're not saying this is best practice, but this is how we do things, and this is how Zoe bills 200k a year. This is how Glenn bills 200k a year. Like, this is what they do.
What was Stuart billing?
Stuart's billing 20, 30k a year. He was rubbish.
Fuck yeah.
He was an average wrestler, but an even worse biller.
Didn't shave his back, did he? That's why.
Yeah.
Had he shaved his back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kept on catching him up on Zoom.
One day I'll get him.
What was Matt billing?
200k plus a year, plus managing like 16 people. Like he was an incredible. And I hate saying this.
But I mean, he doesn't have torsos or an arm.
No,
or legs, so
he's just a big.
life's easier to function when you're just a head
piss,
that's on television.
Just wobbling around.
To be fair though, as a candidate, I can say this genuinely. As a candidate, the experience. Bear in mind, I was like, this is like Phones for You days, right? So I'm just like some
Did you
fucking.
work at Phones for You?
Yeah.
Me
Did
too.
you?
Yeah.
Which one?
Banbury.
Banbury.
Yeah, no,
Banbury.
I was at
Because mobile phone sales are.
Yeah, were you there in like the box breaking days?
Yeah.
You look out for the fucking box breakers.
Wait, they were your bread and butter.
My old boss got sent to prison for doing that.
Who?
I'm not gonna say on this.
Yeah, you can. Come on. He ain't gonna hear this. He's in
He's in
prison.
prison, yeah.
And if he's not, he definitely ain't in the recruitment world.
Yeah, he's not in recruitment. I'll tell you.
Tell me after, yeah.
Yeah. But I used to. Yeah. Was it Phones for?
Yeah. Was it something like that, yeah.
But that was easy selling, right? Because we could physically give cash back. And that's when they would give, it's pre-2008, so we give fucking anyone a contract. So I remember sitting in front of people and saying to, like, doing a credit check on someone, and they're with their friend. I was like, oh my God, you've just been approved as well. Do you want a contract? They're like, yeah.
Just by association.
Yeah. But, the computer just come up saying, your jacket's lovely. They're going to give you a phone contract. Which one do you want? Like, you can just sign here. So, like, that was easy sales. Like, that was, like, face-to-face.
They taught you some fucked up.
Oh, it was
like,
fucking
yeah,
shit. It was
I remember I worked
yeah.
for like an
Do you
independent.
remember street fighting?
Yeah.
So I worked for an
Yeah,
independent,
people-
and the guy Amit, who was the manager there, him and like all the staff were ex Phones for You, and they were like, and I came from like network, right? So I was
Yeah.
ex T-Mobile or
It's
one
the
to
equivalent
one.
of internal
Right?
recruitment, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I walked
Scumbag.
in, yeah, and like these guys were like dogs, and they're like, right, we're gonna do some street fighting. And I was like, what does that mean? And then like, I'm watching them, thinking these guys are fucking unreal, and they literally go up to people and be like, what phone have you got, mate? And they'd pull a phone out and they'd grab it out of their hands and be like, that's shit, you need a new one. And walk back to the store. And I'm like, why are you doing that for? He's like, because I got their phone, they're going to fucking follow me, aren't they? And I was like, this is genius. Oh my God.
There was this guy that I used to work with in Birmingham. I can't remember what his name is now. It's like some big, like 6'5" black guy, just fucking stacked, right? And he used to basically bully people to get into the
Yeah.
shop. Be like, you need to get in the shop now. I've got this new phone that I need to show you. They're like, oh, okay. And then the one day, he walked up to these girls, and like one of them had a pushchair, and he's like, yeah, just grab the pushchair, and just walked it into the fucking shop. And she was like, what the fuck's going on? So then, and then it
Just kidnapping a baby.
yeah,
This is
fully.
that's brilliant.
That's what it used to be like, but it was bad. Like some of the stuff that he used to do.
Crazy. Well,
But that's my point, though, right? So I went into like Wallace Hind when I was at Phones for You. So like with those terrible fucking selling techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Attitude and all that.
well, this is it. I mean, I was doing all right at Phones for You. Like they're the top biller thing, didn't they?
Yeah. We did, yeah. Push region.
Yeah, it was like they had that little fucking MI thing, didn't
I
they?
look at it all the time.
Yeah.
I came third in the whole company once, but that was like not necessarily a good thing. If you catch my drift.
It's how you get to
That's
third,
not very
isn't it?
good practice.
No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the point, so I'd gone in there, and Matt had gone through sort of interview prep. He'd met me on site because I'm guessing they would have done on-site interviews
Yeah.
at the time. Some weird like stately fucking home in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the middle of fucking nowhere. I can't remember where it
Yeah.
was. But we went in there. He kind of prepped me before I'd even gone in. I met the geezer. He told me about the urinal kicks and the lab coat, and I was like, yeah, okay. Weird, but not for me.
Yeah.
Came back out, and even then, like the feedback, Matt waited outside, got the feedback from me, then kind of had called me a day or so after, just as like, this was the initial feedback, this is how it was.
Yeah.
So just from an experience point of view, you can see
Yeah.
why he would have been billing, like having been in the industry now for as long as I have.
Yeah.
It's you can see why he would have billed what he would
Yeah.
have, and why people like Ecolabs were like, yeah, this is the guy.
This is great because that's what he'd do. He would infiltrate companies, and they would like, you need to speak to Matt. Matt will sort you out.
Like
Again,
a
he
Russian
was
spy.
Yeah, he was like a generalist, right? So he would like do lots of different roles. But my time there was almost like and I feel bad because I was there for 4 months. Yeah, before my previous director was like, look, I've got investors. Do you want to set up a new agency with me? And I was like, oh, I don't know, Matt. I'm really enjoying this all the time. It's brilliant. Like, they're just a very good agency. And obviously just had my daughter.
Better ones are available.
Yeah, better ones are over here, OX7. And Michael Sharma Group as well, of course. But he was like, okay, what's your salary now? And I'd negotiated quite a
big jump. Yeah, of course.
with
That's what we do.
with Wallace Hind.
Well, to be fair, if you can't do that as a recruiter, right?
Yeah, you can't do that for yourself. Fucking hell, what chance you got with the candidate?
You have no right being in a
You're in
recruitment job. Yeah.
Then I said to him, look, this is what I'm on now, like compared to what I was on with you. He's like, okay, I'll pay you an extra 10 grand. I was like, yeah, go on then. Yeah, I'll fucking take it. Like, I just had my daughter, it was like not poverty. That's fucking.
No, it's tough times because you go from being just the two of you who can spend your own money on whatever
That's
the fuck
it,
you
yeah.
want to all of a sudden be like, I got an extra mouth to feed.
100%.
The thing can't do anything for itself.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, yeah.
Shit all over the sofa.
Yeah, she's on the sofa. Like, I remember with my with my missus, like I said to her, like I said, this is the poorest we'll ever be. This is like we've got the least money now we will ever have, and it was like really like.
Which is exactly what you want to say to someone who's just come through 9 months of pregnancy and is feeling probably
that's it. Yeah, like you're really attractive. I'm not. Like stick with me. I promise you.
We're going places, baby.
I'll be a millionaire or something this year. But no, so we like it was so that like incentive of like an extra 10k on a base was like fucking hell, I'll do it. So I did it, and then we basically he had a business who they wanted to set up like an internal recruitment function for their business, which was hospitality, hotels and spas, like and they wanted to then grow that into an agency in itself, right?
Right.
And they're like, look, we're going to give you all this money to go and do it. They weren't recruiting backgrounds, so they didn't understand it. So when he was kind of telling them stuff and like, this is what we can do, blah, blah, we'll hire 20 people by May. And bear in mind, this is like January. And we'll take an office in Birmingham. We went to view an office in, what's the legal row in Birmingham called?
Cornwall Road.
Yeah, Cornwall Road. We were looking at like 2,000 square foot offices, like getting quotes for £250,000 fit outs. Like, and it's just me and him. I was like, I love your vision, and like he 100% inspired me. So I was like, reach for the sky.
You say you had an investor.
Yeah, so
it's so fun to spend other people's money.
Well, that's it, right? And this is where it kind of comes back full circle, right? Because you know, what we did is like he went and did the big picture stuff, like you know, I did for day-to-day grind recruitment. Let's get us going. Let's you know, I'm going to fill all your roles. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. As time went on, they kind of like realised that what he wanted to do was going to cost hundreds of thousands of pounds, and you know, actually, that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted a very solid in-house function so they could fill all their roles, then also grow something steadily.
Yeah, they want to make profit.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they said they like, you know, them like they parted ways with him, and then I was like, fucking hell, like I've just left a really good business to kind of come and join you. You know,
they would have had you back.
Am I going to get paid
if you were that
like,
good?
You know what's going on? So, but anyway, they said
is this at Baron's Eden?
Baron's Eden, yeah. So they said to me, look, do you come as a package or are you just kind of on your own? And I was like, this is going to really fuck someone over who's really looked after me and like done all this. And I was like, I need to look at. No, I've got a daughter, like you know, who's like 6 months old. I need to look after number one. So I said, look, we don't come as a package. You know, talk to me. And so, yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, though, Will, I mean, look, at the end of the day, your responsibility totally shifts. Like your loyalties no longer apply to kind of your old director and your manager and stuff. It now applies to your daughter, right?
Exactly.
That's who you got to look after first and foremost.
That's 100% it. And so like I spoke to my wife, and she was like, look, you need to look after us first and foremost. Like they've clearly seen something.
You promised $1 billion by next year.
Yeah, I was like, So fucking hell.
This time next year, Rodders.
yeah. We're still getting everything on Klarna at the moment. So I basically sat down with them and said, look, I wouldn't do it like he wants to do it. I want to do it like this, and it was very slow and steady. Like, let's build some really solid foundations.
Yeah, get the base, then put the next one on there.
And being honest, like for stuff I did at Wallace Hind, taught me how to create a really good base. Like, let's do something really good.
Yeah.
And then build on that. And so I had investors, but it was never like a really formal, like, we're going to give you X amount of money, you're going to give us this back. It was essentially, we're in overdraft. You know, go and do what you want to do, and we'll be in overdraft. So don't worry about paying stuff at the end of each month. You know, there's a bit of money there. We'll put it on a tab. Yeah. And as someone who is, you know, very good at putting stuff on a tab, you know, I put a lot of stuff on a tab. But
we're going to Vegas, baby.
It's great for team morale. We need to get there. But in all fairness, I didn't know about how important entertainment was, you know, and all that kind of stuff at that time. So I ran it so lean. I was like, you know, I'm just not gonna spend like I would.
Yeah, because in your mind, I'm not spending someone else's money. I'm spending my own money that somebody else has given me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like we basically we ran really well, right? So we recruited for them, but then also because I didn't come from a business or like an environment where I was taking a massive chunk of business and taking it with me. I was like, I'm starting from scratch. Like I'm starting from a cold desk.
Yeah.
So I've got to BD and build a business as soon as I could. Like, and that's what I did. Like I was like, I brought in 3 people to begin with. Like,
and at this point, you're OX7 now, yeah?
OX7, yeah. So we went to OX7. So like, you know, we went our separate ways, and you know, it was March 2018, you know, we started OX7, and then I brought in someone who I've known for years and years and years, who'd no recruitment experience at all, but I trusted, and you know, like we're still best mates now. Like it needs to work for me. So like I was kind of like the guy who'd be like,
and who is that?
Adam Williams.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking throw the lasso all the way over there, name for that, and he was like, let's be honest here. Let's be realistic. Let's do this. So like he was a steady head. So like again in the office, still at the moment, still now, like there'll be times they're like, he'll just message me saying, "Buddy, just fucking shut up. Like you know, calm down." Now I'm like, yeah, sorry, mate, you're right. So he's such a level-headed.
Yes, he's like your kind of not your conscience, so to speak, but
he's
he's
100%. So like, and there's no way we could have got to where we are now. And I think it's so. Anyway, so we were like, I took on people. We grew to like 11 consultants in March 2020. Then COVID hit. Like, and
that was a bitch.
It was a massive bitch. Like, so it hit, and obviously the people, the investors' business was hospitality and spas.
Yeah.
So like,
the
worst possible ones, because no one's giving massages when people are scared to walk outside near to people. Like it just didn't happen. So, but like, look, it's been a really good couple of years, like, and we just had about 6 months in a row of profit.
Yeah, you're just finding your feet. You're just getting the swing of it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
we're doing well. Really sorry, but we can't invest in you any longer. Here's how much you owe us, and here's a time period to pay it back. Now it sounds as though like it's really like fucking get our money to us as soon as possible, but it wasn't.
No, they're being fair about it. Right? Yeah, you've got.
Fair.
Yeah, let's be realistic about this.
Yeah,
if you carry on, you know, this is what's available out there.
We're going to give you more equity in the business because when you look after.
Well, it's your fucking business.
Well,
yeah.
but if
they want out, what a better time for them to go.
Well, that's it.
Listen, guys, things are about to hit the pan. All the contractors are finished. There's no perm rolls out there.
Yeah.
The business is worthless.
See you later. Yeah.
The business is worthless. Your 60, 70, 80% shareholding is worthless. I'll write you a check for what I owe you. See you later.
Job's
and then
good.
now anything I grow is me making profit for me.
But at the time, right, I had 11 employees, right, and it was March 2020. They said, we're not giving you any more money. We had about 25k in the bank, and we had about 40k on the sales ledger. Yeah. So like I was thinking, fucking hell, like there's 11 people I need to pay, and I've built this business, and like I've because they left me to it. I built this business, and I was like, shit, I gonna have to tell 11 people they're probably not gonna get paid, whatever. So I literally remember when Boris on that I think it's a Friday went on TV and said we're going into lockdown. Yeah. I sat on my stairs and I cried. You know, I was like, oh my god. And my missus was like, what the fuck's wrong? I was like, this is what's wrong. She's like, oh, okay. Shit. She's like, we need to get paid because you said you're going to be a millionaire soon. Yeah.
But the thing is, that those were scary.
This time next year,
Me and you were on the phone.
Yeah, we remember that.
Because there was a nightly fucking news thing like that, a conference. And
Boris Johnson to make an announcement at 6 p.m. And then you'd sit there and just be like, what the fuck's going to happen next?
That's
what is going to happen next?
Because first and foremost, you're worried about like your family dying and people you know dying. Because, oh my God, if you're...
because you bought into all the bullshit.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? You're like, oh yeah, this is really bad, right? So like the fact you've got a business owner and people to pay was secondary. So there was about a week where it was like unbelievable angst. Like, this is fucking horrible. Like, oh my God, I'm responsible for these people. So I made a mistake, right? And I listened to the government. I was like, I'm going to make a load of people redundant. I have to get rid of you. So I took advice. They were like, look, just get your payroll down as low as you can. Yeah. Keep people on a keep and then do whatever. So I had some really fucking horrible conversations with people, right? Every single person was like, I completely understand. Don't worry at all. I don't blame you. It's fine. You know, I get it. It's all good. And I was like putting those people into no income in a recession. Like
in a lockdown. Lockdown. Yeah.
So I was like, I feel like the biggest fucker ever.
I'm pushing you into poverty.
I'm fucking over it. But then they announced furlough, and I was like, fucking like I would have sucked Rishi Sunak off like 100%. Like I would like what a guy like for doing that. So like that was like a lifting from my shoulders, and all they had to do is be on your payroll for the previous month, right? Yeah. All these people were. So I was like,
at the time,
got some good news for you. Yeah. You are going to get money this month. So we did that, and that was a genuine lifesaver. But actually, what it did is like I had 9 or 10 people on furlough, but I was a director, so I had to still kind of crack on and bill. So we did that. So I was just like, look, I've got to do whatever I can to make money. You know. Within reason.
You did just say you would suck off.
Rishi,
am I in for 12 or 1 today?
Mr. Rishi?
Yeah. Put my hair back. But so we were basically, I was starting from scratch, right? Yeah. So I was like, that investment's gone. I need to give those guys X amount of money in a certain day. But everything else now was on me. So I was like, shit. Like, this is... Like, before, it was like I was holding on to my older brother's hand or whatever.
Yeah, you got a safety net, haven't you?
Exactly.
If things go wrong, you've got some fucking millionaire somewhere that can come in and just wipe your ass for you.
And that is literally what was it. Yeah. Like, there's a few guys in there who are multi-millions, like, worth millions of money.
That's it.
Like, the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Like, mentors and, you know... Like, I genuinely think if I was to ring one of them now and say, look... I need 250k.
You need one of those injections of cash,
I need. Can you do that for me? He'd say, yeah, of course I can. like for nice, not because he wants to make money off it, because he's a genuinely decent people. Andre, big Villa fan, like just like I owe him so much. Like he's an amazing guy, right?
He's a Villa fan though.
He's a Villa fan, but yeah, you don't hold out against it.
Not everyone's perfect, are they? Yeah.
True.
But so like so I was like, I've got to start again. I've got to make some fucking money. So there was an agency, a business who we were working with, who were nearly all retail sales, but they needed to transition onto e-commerce sales, right? Because no retail stores were open, so like, needed to change the business model. So I was like, look, you need loads of e-commerce people. You know, I will help you build that. It's not going to be easy, but let's do it together. I'll give you a discounted rate. So we kind of used them all through lockdown and whatnot to kind of build the business back up.
Yeah.
So I was like,
okay,
like we didn't pivot, but like I was like, we helped build their business back up and like built ours up at the same time.
But you know the advantage of that period of time was everybody was in the same boat though, weren't they? Because this was the thing, is like ordinarily if you'd have made it like pre-2020, if you'd have made that phone call to that business, be like, you're a retail business, but I'm going to help you pivot into e-commerce, they'd be like, firstly, who the fuck are you? And second, don't tell us how to run our business, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But at this point, people were just like, look, any idea.
Somebody help.
Give us a hand. So I had a guy in my business called Dom who, like, I said, look, you just go and do them. Because I'd actually rehired him after he left me. Because he went to work for Salt Digital in London. He went to work for them, right, after leaving me. Because he was one of the first 3 I hired. And then he...
they all come crawling back, Will, don't worry.
Yeah, well, that's it. He did. He came back. But, like, he came
Did
back...
you do that old Simpsons thing as well, make him come through the cat flap?
Yeah, come on. But no, it went like, so, like, he was based in London then. Like, we'd actually just taken a WeWork in March 2020 as well.
Okay.
So I was like, I couldn't actually put him on furlough. So I was like, look, you can just look after this account. So he did. And, like, basically he worked with them great for, like, 4 or 5 months. And they... offered him a job as an internal recruiter. I was like, fucking hell! Like, come on, guys.
Did you have that thing set up? Because you know in the Dual to Doctor
you're like this
group thing, right? Are you in there?
Not anymore. No.
Fucking it pings. I've got over 1,000 messages in there that I just haven't even read. I just muted it. I was like, I can't be asked.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine's been muted for months.
Yeah, there's some people in there who have got terms set with their clients that if they poach their recruiters, they charge them a fee.
I did.
Get
I
paid,
them,
baby.
Yeah, I built them. I was like, you can owe me this amount for taking them, and they were fine with it. Because also leading up to that, they're like, look, we're really interested in like an RPO. Can you do that? Because we'd done that for another one of our clients pre-COVID as well. They're like, yeah, can you do it for us? I was like, yeah, of course you can. So took them through the entire like RPO, what we do, and like, yeah, this is Dom. He's gonna do an amazing job for you. Blah blah blah. This is what we do. They literally fucking laid the foundation.
And they're like, yeah, I mean that sounds great, but we're just gonna have Dom.
Yeah, we'll just take Dom. And all that stuff you've given to her, or you said you're going to do for her.
We just get Dom to do it.
We'll just do it.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. But, like, Dom's one of the nicest guys ever. Like he was like, dude, I've got to do what I do. Like, he came into me, you know, entry-level recruiter, and his salary went up, like, it doubled in, like, a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Can't
really,
begrudge that.
of course not.
Love that.
I mean,
I was like, mate, I'm proud of you. Like,
fair play to you. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to fucking like move that knife out of my back.
Yeah. That's really pain.
Yeah.
That's fucking killing him. But, you know,
I'm sorry my back got in the way of your knife, but whatever.
I'm happy for you. And to be fair, like, he's gone on to do really good things with, like...
Who is it? Dom who? Where
Dom
is he?
Blossom.
Dom Blossom. Let's have a look.
He was like one of the most focused, like, I would take him back. And Dom, this is a plea to you now to come back.
Senior talent partner. He's still internal then, is he?
Yeah, so he went internal.
Oh, he puts little emojis on his job title. Come on.
And he's got a rocket on the
to the moon and all.
Come on, Dom, sort it out, mate.
You don't want this guy back.
I would. I'd take him in a heartbeat. He's fantastic.
He jumps jobs. Look at him. He can't stay still.
He does. Right?
The longest stint he had, right, was working for you for nearly 3 years, and then he went 11 months at this place, 8 months at that place. Dom, just stay where you are, mate. You ain't welcome back.
Like, I tell you what, you take him in a heartbeat. You really would.
I bet I wouldn't.
Let's have a look.
He's really good.
Scroll up. Let's have a look.
Scroll up. Let's have a look at Dom.
Senior talent partner. Mention me.
Oh, he's a good-looking lad, though, isn't he?
He is, and
he's a good looker.
He's got them turkey teeth, hasn't he?
He's a looker, isn't he?
Very fit. He's
Dom, call me.
Yeah,
we'll have a
he's
chat.
definitely got them turkey teeth.
Yeah, Dom's great. So like he went to them, right? So we basically started again, right? And it was like the Open Central Cut. And before I had a finance department doing all my P&L and everything, and all to happen once a month. Well, actually twice. So once a month I'd have Helen come over to me and say, "Here's your P&L," and I was like, "Helen, like what?"
Bloody hell, Ellen, fuck off, will you?
What am I looking at here? And she was
Fuck off,
like,
we built loads,
look,
eh?
look at this now. She's
These
like,
are all numbers, Ellen. What does that mean?
yeah,
What's this red
it
thing?
literally was. Like, what does this mean here? And I was like, what number should I look at? She goes, well, look at this number here. And I was like, that's in bold. Is that good or bad? And she's like, that's good this month. But last month, it was a massive fucking red.
Yeah, it was in brackets.
I was like, does that mean they're going to fucking do something? And she's like, no, just don't worry about it. So I had like 18 months of that. And then board meetings where I was like, 5 investors kind of saying, what are you doing with our money? And I was like, we're like, yeah, I was like, don't worry, lads, this time next year we'll be millionaires.
We're going Vegas, baby!
And they're like, we're already millionaires. Like,
And we were in Vegas last week.
yeah, got a house there. So like,
and there you go. You're welcome, and walk out.
So we go through that every month, right? But so then it kind of like, look, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
then
all
you're on
done
your own,
now.
then it's just you.
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, okay, so what do I do here? So I was like, 40k on my sales ledger. So I was like, the first thing I need to do is make sure that 40k comes in so I can fucking pay everyone.
So were you invoice discounting or anything?
No,
Or was-
not at that point. So then I was like, right, I need to invoice. I need to do that. So I spoke to Simon J.
Top dog, Simon J,
Absolutely.
shout out.
Great guy.
Great
Mr. Recruitment Finance, I call him.
Absolutely. Like the most honest and trustworthy guy ever. Like you speak to some vendors.
I don't know. I'm joking, Simon. Don't panic.
He's a good salesperson.
He is a good salesman. But for some people you believe and you're like, you're just trying to fucking close me and say,
Yeah,
and there's somebody like
Like
you're
Jack
looking at
Stacey.
my business address.
Yeah, like Jack Stacey, shout out Jack. Yeah, no, you're right. Because Simon's whole thing is like, look, guys, this is the crack. Do you know what I mean? Like, this
Yeah,
is
we're
this
talking
is
facts,
like,
then.
Yeah.
Your situation
Yeah.
is this. You carry on going the way you're going. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
These guys can do this for you. However, these are the things you need to consider.
The thing
It's up
is,
to you.
Yeah.
Why he's so good is because he just knows his shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's not really much that you can ask him around. That's that fucking beer burp, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be a bit. Look at you,
Um,
Why don't you have some peanuts? Should have got my piss all over.
pissy nuts.
The Peroni says it's premium.
Better than that fucking
Premium
Morrison
Peroni.
shit.
So you went on the same steep learning curve that we did then of like
Oh.
shit, invoice financing, shit.
Yeah.
I
I've
would
got to
argue
look after
he
my
had
own
it-
website.
He had it
Shit.
harder than we did.
Well, yeah, because
Because
actually
we-
we had each other and we had kind of like the time
That's
to
such
sort
a
of
sweet sentiment.
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. No, but do you know how many, it's so gay, but no, do you know how many people were like every time we talk to them, and there's certain people I won't name because it's not really fair, but who set up and have closed down since then, and they all go, yeah, but there was 2 of you and there was only 1 of me, and it's like, well, yeah, but
You're gonna double the
that's
cost.
that's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of your fault, but
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, we had that kind of like, hey, I've read up on this. What have you read up on? I've read up on this.
Yeah,
blah blah
yeah,
blah.
yeah.
And you're like, yeah, okay, we can learn this. Whereas with you had the investors and the safety
Yeah,
blanket,
yeah.
and then it just kind of got taken off you at a pretty shit time.
You didn't get out of the
And then
shop.
we're like,
Fuck's sake.
BB, I'm talking here.
But no, you're right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was like
It was like you've just kind of been pushed out there
but
into the
then
big bad world on your own.
So in that time, Adam, who was one of the first ones, like who I was mentioning, like when
He's down as co-founder. At the
yeah,
minute.
co-founder, yeah, absolutely. So when all that happened, like, and I was like having to have these horrible conversations, like with people, he would say, "Well, before going to anything, how are you? Are you okay, mate? Like, he had my back."
He wizarded his way into that co-founder
He
spot,
did,
didn't he?
motherfucker.
Yeah.
He was doing that.
Go, let's have a look at Adam's profile, Tristan. Let's have a look at Adam Williams. There. He's right there, look, next to you.
There's another Dom situation coming up.
So Adam, right?
Yeah, see, I have a theory, mate. Anybody who has a goatee can't be trusted.
Nah, mate.
That's not a goatee.
That's a goatee from a
Nah,
distance.
He's a good
Nah,
looking
I'm
man.
joking. He's honestly,
Do you know
yeah.
what he looks like?
He looks like a Prince Charming.
Charming,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
I was going to say the guy from what's it? Game of Thrones, the Lannister.
Yeah. When he fucks his sister.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
He does that as well.
Looks like a bench old mate.
But so but he like if you in that time where you're like, oh my god,
When you need that person to
you
kind of
just
help,
need someone
and-
to be like,
yeah.
fucking. So he, like,
Fair play to him. Yeah.
He was the first person who came into the business, with Dom and Molly. So I was
Fucking
like,
weird background, isn't it? Like systems administrator.
well, that's it. Well, that's the thing, right?
He's
So
said
like,
no.
he was an IT nerd, and I was like, no offense, Tristan, but I was like, you need to.
Piss nuts.
I was like, this is what we do. This is the job. Is like, I'd actually enjoy that because I knew him. I played football with him, so like, I knew he was a very sociable person. He like was a great listener. He was just a strong character. So I was like, you'd be great at recruitment. So we met up when he got made redundant at Cabot. So we worked together at DLC as well, which is debt collection.
Scumbag.
Yeah, well, I used to ring people up saying, "Oh yeah, you owe money for you fucking, your mum's funeral. When are you gonna pay it?" Or
Mum's funeral.
Yeah. Come on, she's been dead 2 weeks. What's going on? It was a horrible job.
Man. You can't.
But it's
You can't not pay it.
Because I'd have people every day say to me, "I'm gonna come to Brackley. I'm gonna fucking stab you when you walk out your office. I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna kill you." I'm like, "No, you're not.
Come, mate. Fucking come."
That's like, yeah, 5'7", chubby me. Come on,
5'7.5".
Yeah, 5'7.5". Yeah, do it then. So that built resilience. Yeah. So I was like,
Put me out of my misery.
When people say to me now, "We ain't gonna use you," I'm like, "But you're gonna kill me? Like, you're gonna come and stab me?" And I went, "No." So he went with
Imagine
me.
saying that to a client. Yeah, no, we're not using agencies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. But are you going to kill me?
Yeah. Phew. So I was worried for a little bit.
Well, that's all right then, isn't it?
yeah, happy days. But yeah, so I worked with him there, and we were just really, really good mates, and I just knew he'd be good at recruitment, and he is very good.
It's funny, isn't it? How like you can look at some of these transferables and you think, okay, look, there's somebody who I think would do well in recruitment.
Yeah.
Because it's not, like I said, in theory, or for me anyway, the kind of, it's probably the most technical sales job in terms of what you're actually looking for. Because I know people will sit there and say like IT sales and all that sort of stuff. Oh, watch it, that's fucking expensive.
Sorry, man, I know,
Billy Eilish used that microphone, I'll have you know.
That one as well.
That one.
That's exactly why.
But yeah, like so people talk about like IT sales being really, really technical, or people talk about kind of product-based sales as really technical. And to a degree, it is totally, totally technical. The difference being, your candidate can be like, "Fuck off, Will. I ain't working for that manufacturing place. It's a piece of shit. I ain't going there."
We're selling a product.
Every other sales, every
yeah.
other sales job, you're selling a product that can't say no.
Name one other sales job.
Our product says no.
Talk about mortgages. Like you'll have a bunch of mortgage advisor estate agents go, "Oh no, but the house pitch is the biggest thing you'll ever do." Well, you can't get the house unless you got the fucking job, right?
Yeah.
So, but when does the house say, "Nah, I'm not having them living here. Fuck that."
He's a scumbag.
Yeah,
You're completely right. I know.
That's some piss nuts, mate.
You're completely right, because we are selling a product which can say no to being sold.
Yeah.
And it's actually, you're not just like, I don't know, if you're trying to sell a web platform or whatever, like...
Shout out to Darren Rebel.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about it after. So if you don't sell that there's no feelings hurt. It's just the product's going to go, "Oh, fucking hell, you ain't got me, I'm fucking thingy." Like, whereas with people, you don't get them a job, it's actually a shit call to make. It's a horrible call to say, "I'm really sorry, you've done 3 interviews, 2 presentations, and they don't like you because you're not a cultural fit." It's like, read between the lines, I think you're a
Shout
dick.
out Michael Page, right?
Yeah. It's horrible.
That's what happened to me at Michael Page. Mate, honestly, I interviewed so the reason I got into recruitment was because of him. Right, he called me up one day and he was like, "Oh mate, we'll go for beers." And at the time I was selling cars. And I was like, "Mate, it's fucking Friday. It's like 6 o'clock. I've got to put these fucking cars away. Then I'm working tomorrow, so I ain't going out for beers." He was like, "Do you mean you're working tomorrow? What do you mean you're still at work?"
Yeah.
He was like, "Call me." And he goes, "Well, we'll go through recruitment." He goes, "You should do this." So go have a chat with him. And he's like, yeah, go on then. So I do an interview in Cov with the manager, Dave Birch, who's coming on the podcast soon. You know Dave Birch? No? Good guy. So do the interview with Dave Birch. Dave's like, yeah, cool. Do the interview then with like the regional director or whatever. Then do an interview with like the MD. And then they're like, yeah, we're not sure. Go meet one of the other senior managers in different. And this is so one was in Cov, one was in Leicester, one was in Nottingham. Then they sent me to Manchester to meet the was it Leeds?
Oh my god, effort.
One of the two.
Manchester or Leeds, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of the two.
No, it was Leeds.
Was it Leeds?
You're on the way to Leeds, and then they changed it to Manchester because she just so happened to be in Manchester that day instead. And it was like,
so on the way to
you're a
Leeds, I
knob.
had to divert to fucking Manchester.
Yeah.
So then I go to Manchester, meet the director there, and then we had one more final stage. I think it was with Emily or something, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I met with her again, and then they just called me up one day on like a Friday at fucking 6:30 or something. I was like, oh yeah, just. It's not the right time. Nitin's just started. We've got a couple of new guys, and now's not the right time. And I'm like, fuck me.
Is this like an entry-level recruitment job? Like
This is just for
Yeah,
consultant level. Just consultant.
So then, like 3-4 months later, they call me again. They're like, do you know what? We think we made a mistake. Like, would you be interested again? And I was like, yeah, because I really want to get into recruitment.
Yeah.
Like he's been telling me about it. So then, same thing again. I'm fucking traveling up and down the country. I go meet the director in like Leeds or fucking Nottingham or one of the fucking. I can't remember. I went so many places. And he ended up saying, "He's like, you've been to fucking more offices than I have."
Yeah.
And we're in the interview, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know." And I was like, "Listen, what do you want from me? Do you know what I mean? Like I've travelled up and down the fucking country, right? You've re-invited me to interview for this place. Like, what more do you want? Like, you're on about commitment. Like, how much more commitment do you think I need to give you?
What am I not showing you?
Like, fucking, like, if I'm not the one, then I'm not the one. Just tell me. Do you know what I mean? But it's just like, fucking hell, what more do you want? Then he called me after, and he was like, how did it go? I was like, mate, it either went really well or really shit. And he's like, fucking hell, what did you do? I was like, I just fucking laid it out. I was like, listen, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, what more do you want from me? And yeah, sure enough, that was the phone call. But that's the thing, though, isn't it? Is if you're going through this fucking 4, 5, 6 stage process, and you have to call a candidate, and be like, oh, sorry, this ain't the one. And it's a fucking wish-wash reason, like, oh, your experience just wasn't quite right. And it's like,
I don't even think it's just that bit though, right? Because imagine like you got you guys and you're targeting them to speak to 5, 10 candidates, 20 candidates, 30 candidates a week, whatever it is, right? They feel shit not finding these people jobs. Do you know what I mean? We spent a lot of time explaining to the guys that, look, fortunately for us, these candidates won't just register with us for work. They will be registering with lots of different people, and they will get a job. You know, but it is still shit that you've asked them to give you their time and then register with you and go through all the rigmarole it means to allow you to, you know, effectively and compliantly send them out to market, and you still manage to not get them an interview. That is a shit thing to do. You know, do you know what I mean? And recruiting is not for everybody for that sense. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I mean, it seems like you guys are very much aligned with kind of the way we do things, right? In that you guys embrace the social media stuff, the TikTok stuff, the kind of fun stuff. You're clearly not like what we call recruitment wankers, you know, with the slip back hair and the suits and the Wallace Hind kind of vibe.
The
I would say that.
Anyone who has to wear a suit to work. Do
you know what? To be fair though, mate, it took him a long time to convince me to get out of it.
Yeah.
Really?
He was suited and booted all the time. I used to be like, mate, if you wearing a suit impacts the ability to do your job, then something's wrong, right? And he'd be like, no, it's not that. It's like, I feel like I'm more in the mental space of work and work environment and work mind space. And it's like, well, that's a mind space thing. You can control that. You don't have to be dressed a certain way to act a certain way, you know?
Well, we're all dressed down. Like, there's only a few rules. Can't wear football shirts, can't wear grey joggers, and that's it. Like,
grey joggers because you can see the little peepee thing, and you're like,
we don't want any penises on show.
Only yours.
Only mine. Hey guys, it's time.
Morning.
But no, I think because I had a boss in a previous job who was like, mindset. You know, if you're wearing a suit, you feel professional and you feel like. It's like, no, not really, mate.
If I wake up and feel professional, I feel professional. I wake up and feel like a dickhead some days. And I come into work and guess what? I'm a dickhead some days. Yeah. That's not because of what I'm wearing. It's because I'm just in that mood.
Some of that also comes down to, though, like the kind of the era as well, right? So us three of a similar age have worked in places where like I remember I was at Phones for You and I had an earring on one time. And do you remember you used to get those like regional training guys that used to She came over one day and she was like, take your earrings out. And I was like, why? She was like, well, if you don't take them out, I'll give you a P45. And at the time I was like, fuck, okay, yeah, no worries. Thinking about that conversation now, I'd be like, fucking yes, bring on that P45 because watch me take you guys to the cleaners. But we were so drilled in like suits, ties, fucking, you couldn't grow a beard.
But it's a generational thing, isn't it? Right? It's you know, have you heard the adage of like the, you know, tough times create tough people people create kind of like, you know, easier times create weak people, right?
Of course,
That kind of thing applies, I think, in the working world. In the generation before us that we reported into were all about the suit wearing and the professionalism and the not swearing and mind your P's and Q's and you know, do this and do that. And because we grew up in that, now we're the decision makers. Now we're the ones that run our businesses. Now we're the ones that are deciding. And we're like, nah, do you know what? If I could have been in my 20s and wore a hoodie to work, I fucking would have loved it. I probably would have worked harder. I probably would have... if I could pick up the phone to my boss on like a Monday morning and be like, bro, I'm hungover. Can I have another 2 hours in bed? Like, I'll make up the hours, but please can I have a couple of hours in bed? Like, my life would have been completely different. But instead, I was either running into work hungover or I'd just be calling in sick for the entire day.
I don't know,
and
man. I think
ticking off trigger points. Do you know what I mean? Like
part of the sales initiation has to be you got to go to work hungover.
Yeah, I'm just not really good.
Most people do because it's just adult, isn't it?
I can't do hangovers, man. Like oh my god, this is bad. We met on a training course for Nationwide Building Society, right? For the managers and all that sort of stuff. That's where we first met before even recruitment was a thing.
Believe it or not, we
In
were
our
bank
minds.
managers at one point.
Yeah, we used to manage.
Who the fuck trusted you?
Do you know
to
what I mean?
money?
Mate,
Apparently, a lot of people,
yeah.
baby. But so they explicitly said you cannot pass this course if you don't attend all 4 days and complete the assessment on day 5. It just can't happen. And if you can't pass the course, we can't.
You fail your probation.
We can't justify
Yeah.
employing you, so you fail your probation. Fucking my man over here, idiot, goes and starts drinking with the head of treasury the night before, like day 5. I got absolutely smashed. I didn't get to bed till 4 in the morning. I've been drinking gin. I didn't drink G&T. I was drinking G&T all night, trying to impress this Scottish bloke. I had no business trying to impress at all. And like, honestly, it was bad. And to the point where 3 different people from the training course had stayed over at the hotel, knocked my door, and I opened the door and went, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going in.
Fuck your job.
Fuck it. I'll get another job.
I
literally was like,
I don't
"Oh,
need to
okay."
met this guy, right? And I'm like, but like, we got on quite well at the course, right? To be fair, at the time, he had a bald head, right? And like a little
Yeah, if
tiny,
you can
tiny
believe
little
that.
pencil beard like me as well, right?
If you can believe that, yeah.
Yeah, so me and him were looking at each other like, oh yeah, I'm from Carv. Yeah, me too. Oh yeah, okay, well, I've come from phone sales. Yeah, me too. I got a white missus. Yeah, me too. Oh my god, did we just become best friends?
It was so funny.
So then we were just, but then like, funny, he went to school with like my cousins and all that sort of stuff. So we got to know each other. We got to chatting, right? And then like I'm covering for him in the thing. I was like, yeah. And then Nitin called me. He said that he's just he's been throwing up a little bit and he's just like he's not feeling too good. And then this little fucking dickhead in
Danielle
the course,
name, wasn't it, bitch?
little bitch. She fucking like, guys, can we just be honest here for a second? He's fucking hungover. And I was like, oh, now you made me look a cunt as well because I'm sitting there covering him. Yeah, he called me. He's feeling really rough. I think it must be
Fucking
something
apprentice,
that
is it? Like, shut up.
Mate,
yeah,
I bossed
mate,
it.
honestly.
I fully bossed it. He messaged me. He was like, mate, they've ratted you out, blah, blah, blah. If you can, get in. And I was like, I'm going to get in. So I go in, pull the trainer to a side and I'm like, listen, I'm really sorry. I get you're bound by kind of like what you said, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. I just wanted to make the effort to come in, apologise to you face to face and let you know that this is what happened. To be completely frank, I was drinking with the head of treasury last night. His name was Scott something or another, Scottish bloke. And she was like, yeah, I know him. Yeah, I was drinking with him. In my infinite wisdom and like, you know, young naivety, I thought I'd try and impress him and stayed up with him drinking like drink for drink.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it in. But I get it. I get if you've got to go back to my area manager and blah, blah, blah. I get it. And she's like, all right, okay, stay here a minute. Goes off, comes back. And she's like, so what I didn't tell you was my husband works in Treasury and I've just verified with him that, yes, you were out last night drinking with the head of Treasury and you were trying very hard to impress him and he was impressed. Go and sit down. It's fine. Don't, go and sit down. Don't worry. No, he was asking me all sorts of different stuff about investments and like, he was trying to suss out like, okay, what are our retail managers actually like, right? So he was asking me about things like, yeah, if I gave you X number of funds, what would you do with them? How would you invest it? Unbeknownst to him, though, I'd worked previously at Coventry Building Society as a savings and investments like advisor.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know all about with profits bonds. I know all about pension bonds, and I know all about kind of income related, inflation protected bonds. And I was saying all this shit to him, and he was just like, oh fucking hell, all right, okay. And then we kind of got into like a back and forth for ages. So he was genuinely impressed with like, oh yeah, this guy knows his shit. That's good. We've actually hired a good person this time. He 100% singled me out because like this guy looks like a cock, and I'm going to make a cock of him. But yeah, no, I managed to keep my job, but honestly, by the skin of my teeth.
Fucking bank managers.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, it sounds more glamorous than it is. It was fucking wank.
Yeah.
All we did was just audit for fucking audit's sake. It was
Fucking mess. Absolutely
it's
mess.
going to be terrible. It's going to be
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, but the following fucking Will's piss break, we was talking about surplus cash, right? So I was at Nationwide in Stratford at the time, and
Stratford Parnavan.
that's
Parnavan,
the one.
yeah.
Parnavan, yeah.
Parnavan.
True
He
story,
likes to
I was-
pretend that he's from up north, isn't he?
Down south, Brackley.
And we're up
It's
north.
all northwest. It's
We're
all
up north.
northwest. My family from. So.
Oh, yeah.
But also Manchester.
I was in the
so-
Stratford Gazette because I fucking like saved a
You
load of
showed those
lives.
people from dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Did you?
Yeah, true story. I'll go into that in a second. But
Oh.
yeah.
Buckle in. This one's a ride.
These surplus bond stories. No.
Well, mate, this guy was a fucking like. I had one of my cashiers call up everybody who had a instant saver cash account. You know, they had like the fucking shitty 0.1% interest rate.
0.1%. Yeah.
So I got them to call all of those guys and say, look, you got fucking shit savings account. Let's review it, right? And there was this one guy, and like the cashier comes over to me. She's like, Sean, like I think you probably have to.
He's
go with this
Mexican.
one."
His name was
He's
Juan Guy.
Juan Guy, yeah.
Juan guy.
Juan.
Juan.
Yeah, that's
Like
a joke.
San Juan, Juan
It's
guy.
a shit dad joke, mate.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
One guy, Juan guy.
Okay, Juan guy,
Yeah, fuck.
Really? His name was Juan? Fantastic.
That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Not a huge amount of culture,
Yeah,
apparently, is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Juan?
He's like, Juan guy. Yeah, I'll buy my Chinese from
Oh,
you.
you mean Juan?
Joel.
Bloody Juan, yeah.
But yeah, so she comes over to me. She's like, "Yeah, look, this guy's got fucking like I think it was about 2.5, 3 million in a 0.1% fucking Insta Saver account."
Mine, eh?
Idiot.
So yeah, so I call him and I'm like, "Mate, look, you've got fucking 0.1% interest account. You got like nearly £3 million in here. We should probably do something with that." He's like, "Have I?" And honestly, at that point, I was like, there was like, do you know when like you kind of phase out into like this internal monologue? Time freezes. You phase out into this internal monologue. I was like, I could tell him he's got 3
So
million.
that's a mistake, actually.
Or I could tell him, oh, sorry, my mistake, it was 300,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, fucking had to get him in because I was like, mate, you need to fucking come in and sort this out because, like, we can't, there's no way that we... And off the
Where's
back
the
of
money
that,
come from? What's...
just some fucking rich bellend, wasn't he?
Imagine that.
Apparently invested in some fucking OX recruitment thingy.
Yeah.
It's now minus 3 million. It's like on an statement.
Yeah, no, but he came in. And
Mate, honestly, when you work in retail banking, you see how much money some people have, and it makes you just shudder with like, are you kidding me? I don't, but on the other side of it, though, it helped me a lot. So I worked at Coventry Building Society. That was my first banking job, and I'd see all these old boys come in and not or like people are what now my age, and they'd be like, how the fuck have they got that much money? No, but like from like 40 up to kind of like retirement age. And I'd be like, how the fuck have they got that much money? Like this is unreal because at the time, like a £200 car repair bill would be like, I need to get a new car.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
We remember those days, and like me and my mate talk about it all the time. Like we would work, like we were working at the Barclays call centre, and we would literally go to the Mega Bowl to share 3 Peronis for a £5 because that's all we could afford, right? And just split the last one. And look at these people thinking, how they got this much money? But it inspires you. It does. As you get older, then you kind of like, no, I need to bank cash. I need to do this because actually there are people in the world who are doing really well that have done that. And I recommend it to everyone. I've got members of my family and stuff that are looking for jobs, and I always say to them all the time, go and work in retail banking because it really gives you an idea of like the gulf in what people are doing. And these are everyday people. They're like, I worked at the Dunlop factory for 40 years. And you're like, you've done really well then because you've got 100 grand liquid in the bank. And this is like in the mid 2000s. That's really good going. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I always used to make a big thing about it, and I just felt like Nationwide never ever did.
Did you ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never made a big thing about somebody coming in to pay off their mortgage. Or do you know when somebody's mortgage was paid off? Right?
Oh, mate, the cutest thing I ever had. This couple came in to pay off their mortgage. They brought their kids in. And the kids had a camcorder. And she was like, I've just come to make the last payment on my mortgage. Do you mind if we do it in the office? And like the cashier was like, yeah, Nitin, this couple want to pay off their mortgage. I was like, okay, I'll bring them in. And I'm like, what are we doing? And she's like, we just want to pay off the mortgage, but we've written the last payment in check. We've cancelled the direct debit. Paid the last payment in check. Can you pay it in? And we just want to record ourselves doing it. And they were like literally celebrating little poppers and stuff.
Cute.
And I was like, that's
so
such a big deal, man. That's such a big deal to them. Yeah.
No, that's cute. But that's what I used to say to all of our guys. So we had like a financial advisor in each branch, and they used to say the minute that they've got like X amount left in their mortgage, I think it was like £5,000 or whatever. I was like, you need to get them fucking in. Like, talk to them and be like, you had a mortgage payment of like £500, £600, £700 in Stratford. It was up to like fucking £1,500.
Yeah,
at some point.
of course.
It was like, like what the fuck are you gonna do with that money now?
Yeah.
And for most people, they're like, oh fucking hell, we got like £1,500 extra now. We can just go and I don't know, fucking
buy groceries.
Yeah.
In this day and age. Yeah, buy some tomatoes.
Yeah. Spring onions and all that sort
Yeah,
of stuff.
there's no shortage of fruit and veg in Spain, though, right?
No, that's it. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures. I've got people like I got people
I
people
He's
I
in the
know
fruit
that
discovery
are out there. Yeah, and they're like, bro, honestly, this is not what is being reported as. Shite, absolute shite. So what's next for you then, mate? Let's go back to business a minute.
Oh, yeah,
like, what's the exit strategy? Because you can't be doing this yourself. You can't be doing this yourself on your own back forever, right?
No, so I think.
So have you got are your investors involved still?
No, so they've got. So I bought
paid them off.
So paid them off there. So they've got no equity.
They've got 20%, right? But I'm going to buy them out this year. But like we vested a client of ours, so we still
you got to keep it sweet and
do that kind of stuff. So So yeah, so OX7 and You Exclusive, I'm like both 80% owners, so like they're both mine, and then I've always made sure it's above 75%, as you both know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Person
so
of significant. Sorry, I'll say that again.
person,
Person of significant control.
and I just wanted that. Oh, my dream is to be in a local paper where it says local businessman. That's what I want, to be referred to as that.
You could run over somebody and
Local
you'd be referred to as.
kills.
Yeah. But no, it's true.
Local
Like, you can
businessman
literally
gets
run over
a
an
dick
old
out
lady.
Down orphanage.
Yeah. You could be like an old, like kill an old lady and be like
Yeah.
local businessman
That's
kills
all
an
I
old
want.
lady.
That's
It's
all I
fine.
Don't you do it today? Local businessman gets his dick out on a podcast.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Stop trying to gaslight him to get his dick out.
You said you're egging me on.
He wouldn't do it. You ain't got the ball to do it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You ain't got the fucking cojones.
I know what you're
mate.
doing.
You got the cojones.
The W in Will stands for wimp.
Yeah, you ain't got the testicular
Right,
fortune.
that's it.
The W stands for won't get his
Yeah.
dick out.
Yeah.
I've just fluffed up. So
Lack,
that's good.
lack of testicular fortitude, mate. That's what it is.
Testing the fortune. That's a good one. No, so I to be honest, right, I don't know. Is the honest answer, right? Because as you both know, in this game, it's relentless. Like it's never ending. It's never stopping.
Fucking
Like
graft,
you
isn't it?
can't think. I can't think of a time where I can't not do what I'm doing now because we've got to a place where we're okay, right? Where actually, I didn't have to worry about. Like that sounds like I'm like a fucking a millionaire, but I'm not. But I don't have
No,
to.
but you
worry
don't have to.
about
Yeah.
You
no,
like you
yeah.
like okay, that's not.
We're comfortable.
Yeah, that it's not a consider it like if my missus says, "Oh, can you transfer 25 quid so I can go and get
Baby milk.
I
Whatever,
don't-
yeah.
well, whatever, like some what's there?
Baby,
What's-
what's 25
What's £25 these days?
Yeah,
like I don't know, nails.
Cosmetic-wise.
Nails,
yeah.
nails.
Can I
Get your
get
nails
your
You
done.
sound like such fucking.
Yeah, I know, yeah,
real
yeah,
Michael.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
25 quid
No,
worth
because
now?
the problem. No, right. Yeah, to put that in context, though, our wives pay for their own things. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
we're not like some fucking weird rich like
that's-
sugar daddies that are like, oh yeah, £25. Yeah, I'll pay for a Maybelline.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Like back in the day, we would be like, oh my god, if you go and get your nails done now, we can't have a takeaway for 2 weeks. We can't do this. We can't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That
Like
time weren't that long ago
Yeah, like
for
that,
us.
it's not
Yeah.
like it's not like a thing. So whereas now, and because of me working very hard and everyone who works for me very hard as well, like we don't have to worry about. But
Apart from Dom. Fuck you, Dom.
yeah, fuck you, that motherfucker. But I can't imagine a time where I don't feel like that. Where I'm not like, okay, we're going on holiday next week to Wales for our dad's 60th birthday. I can't imagine a time I'm like, I'm not going to work that time. I'm just going to have some time off and relax. I know full well that I will have to bargain with her on time that I'm doing stuff to make more money. And you do get addicted to making money. You do get
You do. Yeah.
I'm still a biller, so I'm doing placements and I bill pretty good, right? I'm not going to say,
No,
forget it, I ain't going to do that because when I do that now, like I get the lion's share of the money. Like,
Can we give you a bit of business advice though?
please do.
Always have an exit strategy. Everybody will tell you that. You don't have to invoke it. You don't have to. You don't have to push the trigger.
Yeah,
But always have an exit strategy in mind, because if the last 3 years have taught us anything, we're only one COVID away from shutting down forever.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
let's
true.
be frank. Right. We're only one issue, pandemic, call it whatever
Yeah.
the fuck you
War
want.
or whatever, yeah.
Stupid prime minister, one war or whatever,
Yeah.
away from being left out in the lurch on our own. Because
Yeah.
what people don't see about kind of small business owners like us is, yes, you see that, oh, but you own your own business and you drive a nice car and you do this and you do that. We work fucking hard for it.
Yeah.
And if I don't get up and go to work that day, I don't get paid that day.
Yeah.
If you get up and go, I'm too tired to work today, or my anxieties are playing up today, I can't go in today, you're still going to get paid a wage.
Yeah.
You're still going to get your keep. If all of a sudden we go into another national lockdown and something goes wrong, guess what? The government will likely come in and pay at least 80% of your wages.
yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah.
But you touched
People
on it
like us
earlier.
aren't. We end up we don't get grants. We don't
Yeah.
get given free money.
Yeah.
We get loans.
Yeah.
We get given, oh, we'll give you this, but we're going to take it back.
Yeah.
Everything that we got given during that pandemic was a clear-cut sign of small business owners are not the
Yeah.
priority, and they never have been, and they never will
But
be.
he's
right?
doing that now, ain't he? With like the
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
increase
We're paying back.
dividends,
We're paying back
Yeah.
furlough. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Okay, so you took advantage of furlough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. We didn't, because there was just two of us at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We expanded the business after
Yeah.
kind of the pandemic happened, right? And so, like, my biggest advice would be to a very like-minded individual would be always have an exit strategy, because you never know when you might need to
What's
push the
your
trigger
ads-
on it.
What's your average trade then? What are you doing?
So we've only come up on this recently, right?
Yeah.
Our focus is the recruitment business needs to become self-sustainable financially, so that we have the option to, when we want to sell it, we can.
Right now,
We might not want to, right? If it's turning over so many million, I mean, at the minute we're just over 1.2 mil in turnover. If we get to a point where we're like, right, on paper it's worth X, Y, or Z, EBITDA, blah blah blah, we get paid. We know what our figure is in our mind for us to walk away. If that buyer comes along, happy days, brilliant. But if it doesn't come along, we're still making a good living in the meantime. And our focus is things like RecTools, RecTalk podcast, RecDev, and that sort of tech space
the
stuff.
thing is, right now,
because
what we've
it's
got-
less work, it's just the two of us, and we can have a bit of fun with it. And it's not a daily grind to build, to make sure the bills are paid, to make sure that the supplies are done.
Yeah.
Well, you run an active desk, you know how hard it is to manage that
Right
and
now, what
other
we've got
things.
is Nitin has taken over all the rec stuff. So RecTalk, RecTools, RecDev, all of that sort of stuff.
Rectum.
Rectum.
Rectum,
Yeah.
Rectal. I can't believe it's not in my rectum. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that. That's coming soon, by the way.
Also, our e-commerce website, Erect.
Erect.
Oh, it shares in that one.
Publishing works good as well. But so right now, Nitin's looking after all that. But actually, he's very, very active in terms of editing of the podcast, of kind of the marketing side of it. Like you've seen him really active on LinkedIn recently, because he has to be, right, for us to get that bit working. He's got to do. I've got an active billing desk. I mean, fucking hell. We had somebody who was covering our finance desk who, thank the Lord, fucking has left. But finance was our bread and butter, right? That's what me and Nitin started on.
Everybody knows us as a finance agency.
Yeah.
So July
But
to
when
June
you look at
is
our board,
our year end, right? And come August, and you can come upstairs later and you can have a look at the board, but come August, finance was on like $3,000.
it was the most underperforming desk.
Whereas
by
our tech
far.
desk, which is new, with a new consultant on there, was on like 20, 30 grand. Our professional services desk was on like 10 grand. Our tempware desk was on like 20, 30 grand. So I said to Nitin, I was like, fucking hell. I was like, we're going to have to like move her out of the way, bring in, we brought Tash into finance, and then I jumped onto finance as well. And in that time, so I think it was like from October.
Well, now it's the now
from
it's
October
like
to
we're
now,
doing,
it's ended up
I would
the
say
most
a
profits.
third more than the rest of the other desks, right?
Really?
Because it's needed that attention. And where we went wrong was, like, we both took our eyes off the game in terms of, we're like, finance is in a good place, it's got an experienced consultant on there, it'll be fine. You know, luckily for us, that experienced consultant decided that Michael Sharma Group wasn't the home for her. She wanted to go and work for a competitor. Happy days, good luck, because now she's their problem, right?
Yeah.
But the reality was that when you look at true billings and stuff, you kind of really see the shit for, like, the wood for the trees.
Yeah.
And that's when you realise, though, that, like, if the business is always going to be you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I step away, are these guys going to do what I'm asking them to do? Well, no, not
Yeah,
always.
If you walked away now, what would happen with OX?
So OX would be okay because of Adam, I think, genuinely.
Okay, but you and Adam walking away there. So because if Adam's
Yeah.
a co-founder, so if
I
you
mean-
as the two directors would step
I'm
away.
assuming he's got shareholdership now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So with OX, right? And I'm not just saying this. I genuinely believe with the people in it. Let's say I got hit by a bus tomorrow, and so did Adam. You know, there's people in there, Josh, Tom.
You've got
will step
stability.
up. I've
You've
got-
got stability.
like,
Yeah, this
got
is the
people
thing
set
that we're
up, we'll
lacking
do
on,
it,
on our Michael Sharma Group side, right? We've not got stability. We've never have. We've got people that are good, that are for 6 months they're great, and then they go, or for 6 months they're great, they stay for a year, and then they go. We have a lot of churn. Whereas you got Dan. You always see him in the TikToks. You always see him kind of like he. When I think of OX7, I think you, Dan, Josh, and the like sort of familiar faces, and Adam, and the rapper one, Adam. He's also Adam, isn't he? Yeah.
Adam Willard,
Yeah. So that's who I think of. And there's obviously more people that work there and stuff, but they seem to be the core, right?
Yeah.
And so you're in a place where
Is Carly your missus?
Yes, she's my wife. Yeah. I'm
office manager, bloody hell, get a real job.
Sponger.
No, but like, look,
Listen.
having an exit strategy though, having an exit strategy from your perspective might mean dropping an active desk.
See, this is what I think about. Like, but then I look at what I bill. Like, if I take that out of a business, that's a pretty
Significant chunk, right?
Because, like, I've had a really good. Because our year is August to July, right? So, like, this year to date, I've billed a very good amount, like enough to cover
the bulk of. Yeah.
So like, you take that away, then what happens? So then that's the anxiety. Like, you know, if I'm not billing, who's gonna like? And these guys work really
But how long
hard.
do you do it for? Because we're that generation, right?
Yeah.
We would have been sat in a client meeting, and you know the example I'm thinking of, in a client meeting, and we're like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
50-something years old, 60-something years old, briefcase in hand,
Yeah.
in like the mid 2000s or early 2010s, in a sales meeting, and you're like, you fucking weirdo, you've made some bad choices in life for you to have to do this. And we don't want to be that guy, right? We're not those people, because we're that weird generation. When we talk about this off camera, where we appreciate the generation before us, but we also quite like some of the shit that the generation after us are involved in, like the influencer stuff, the TikTok stuff, the social media stuff, all of that kind of stuff appeals to us too, right? I met a guy recently who's been involved in a lot of kind of exits of scales and exits or acquisitions and mergers of tech businesses.
Yeah.
And he said something that at the time I was a bit like, I don't know about that. That sounds a bit odd. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, you've got it right. And he was like, if you own or run a business, what you want to aim for is you want to be the person that puts your feet up and looks out the window more than the one that's actually doing the do.
Yeah.
Because it's when you put your feet up and look out the window that the ideas come.
Yeah.
And that the creativity flows.
Yeah.
And that all comes through you, and you think about the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
But if you're doing the do all the time, you haven't got time to put your head up and think about the do, right?
That's it.
And it worked, and we're examples of that in the RecTools was a pipe dream. This podcast was a pipe dream. You know, all the other side projects that we've got going on were all a pipe dream until we started scaling the business to the point where we were like, no, we need to hand these desks off to people. We can't keep being the ones that are doing the active billing, because otherwise what am I paying you for? You know, that kind of thing. Because the reality is, if you guys are as good as you say they are, and I'm quite confident they are, they would do the billing that you've done if you weren't there to do it.
Lose that revenue from those clients.
Well, that's it.
You just come through somewhere else.
But then I think there's a big part of me which is like, you know, it's such a risk. Like,
But so was setting up on your own, and so was choosing to pay off your investors, and both of those things worked out for you, right?
That's very true. Yeah, actually.
So anyone who's willing to, so anyone who's willing to buy OX7,
Will is retired.
RecTalk exclusive. OX7 is for sale.
Yeah,
I'm assuming 7 figures.
Yeah, we're going to a pub. Come on,
Vegas, baby.
We're going
sorry,
Vegas,
babe.
baby.
I want to be at Banbury at 3:30. Want to be in fucking Vegas. But I completely and utterly agree with what you're saying, right? But like, I'm so risk averse because of what happened through COVID. Like, it's like, this is safe, and actually, I do really enjoy.
It's only
doing
safe for now, though, isn't it?
Well,
That's
That
the
depends on if he
bit,
enjoys
isn't
what
it?
he's doing. Like, if you're in a position where you enjoy the recruitment side of it, and because I still do, I still enjoy picking up a desk. I still enjoy doing BD calls. I still enjoy doing the recruitment side of it, putting an offer out, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I had a candidate I was talking to yesterday who's starting next month. And it's like, it's fun having those conversations.
Yeah, it's wicked. Yeah.
But it's about when you're kind of ready to move on from that. And look, you might get to a point where you've got 10, 15, 20 people working for you.
What's the retirement plan then?
Well, fun fact: I've never in my entire life paid into a private pension.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah, it's a fucked fact, really, because I'd rather have money now, because I've always assumed I'm going to die young.
Future Will's problem, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
He won't remember.
And if future Will lives to be that old, then that's his fault.
Well, that's it. Yeah, dickhead. So this has got to go really well. But I think really see what's going to happen. What I want to happen is I'm going to grow RX7 to a size which is similar to a business I worked at called DLC, which was like a local business where everybody wanted to work because they were treated well and everyone loved it. And like there was a figurehead in that business called Steve Grimmer, who you would see him in the pub on a Friday, and he wouldn't be sweating small stuff. He wouldn't be like tapping on his laptop. He'd be having fun with everyone. Yeah, like legend. I want to be that. Like, you know, my car's behind the bill thing. I think we're in a business in recruitment where we can earn absurd amounts of money from placements for not doing a lot and having very low overheads on the main part. Like I'm very much like Robin Hood, like let's fucking bill loads of money and like repurpose that kind of, you know, this redistribution of wealth, right? So I'm like our commission schemes is really good and we do as much as I can. I don't take massive dividends. I take what I earn, and you know, we try and do as good as possible. I want to be like that. You know, people are like, I want to go work for Will because, you know, if I work really hard in 12 months' time, I'll be fucking smashing it, but having fun. Like, because that's why we do all of our TikToks, everything else, because it's a fucking difficult job.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have fun. Like, I can't think of anything worse than getting to Sunday night or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday night thinking, oh my God, I've got to go into work tomorrow. Because I've been there. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, what can I realistically do if it's not going to harm myself too much, but it's going to harm me enough so I can't go into work tomorrow? Like, I'll drop a brick on my foot. I won't break my foot, but I won't be able to walk, so I can't go into work tomorrow. Don't like, you think of these ridiculous scenarios where like you don't go into work because you hate it that much.
Oh,
like,
so when I was to start that, so when I was in the army, right, that we used to have to go on exercises, and we used to go to like Brecon Beacons and places that were like Gaelic in Scotland, like cold as shit places, right? And we had these two lads who were like dead set. They were getting seshed the night before we were having to go, and they're like, "We don't want to go on exercise. We don't want to go on exercise. What do we do?" They start trying to break their wrists.
Yeah.
And they were like literally fucking picking up boots and smashing them. One of them jumped out of the window, it's basically for the height of this building, right? Jumped out of the window to land on his wrist to try it, and he fucked it really bad, and they made him still go on exercise. So now he's going to cut around exercise with a fucking broken wrist.
That's it. Imagine that. Imagine working somewhere so like.
You're prepared to jump out a window. If you're prepared to jump out of a window,
exactly,
because you don't want to do that job, you shouldn't be in that job.
Well, when I was
that's a different conversation, though, isn't it? That's like, oh, come on, if you hate your job that much, just don't fucking do it.
But then, as business owners, we have the ability to impact how much someone enjoys their job, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So like, I always think, like, if we're not having fun, if the majority of our time should be having fun, having a laugh, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we're actually doing recruitment as a byproduct, because we charge these companies sometimes
it's good money,
ludicrous amounts.
Yeah, ludicrous.
To see what we do, right? Because and like you get all these wanky fucking dicks who are like, yeah, but we've earned the right to do that, and actually, you know, we're going to charge someone £20,000 to find them whatever. Like, it's because I've worked in this industry for fucking 40 years.
Yeah.
You're so
fuck off, mate. Yeah, look, appreciate, acknowledge. Do you know, there's a big difference between acknowledging, like, listen, we get paid well to do what we do, which is very little, in comparison to some other people, right?
Like,
you respect that person more than somebody who's like making up some bullshit excuse as to why justifiable. 20 grand fee is justifiable. No, it ain't. Like, you haven't done 20 grand's worth of work. You haven't.
Accountants. The Jennifer placement was pretty fucking hard.
That was hard.
Accountants, solicitors, like those kind of people are like legally trained. They've been through university. Like they probably get paid an hourly rate less than us for what we do. I've got a 25-metre swimming certificate in my pyjamas. That's all I've got. Like, I ain't got any GCSEs really. I've got like 4. No A-levels, no degree. Like, I'm now doing recruitment.
Crikey, what a thick off.
Yeah, fucking thick off, mate. So I'm like, you know, got the gift of the gab, right? No, but like, what I mean is, like, our day rates or our hourly rates are less than them.
Yeah.
And they're proper people. They've done proper stuff.
You guys in recruitment are not proper people, Will Grashoff says. You are not proper people.
No, let's be honest. There's no barriers to entry. You know?
No, there isn't. There isn't no barriers to entry.
Anyone can do it.
No,
so, like, you know, we have to respect the fact. But actually, what we're
low-skilled workers.
Yeah, we are.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, we're high-paid, low-skilled workers.
Yeah.
But this is what we try and get through to. You know, because our hiring tactic has always been, up until recently, kind of go with that junior model.
Yeah.
And this is what we try and get through to people is like, we are very well paid for what we do, which is very little in comparison to other people on the same wage, right? Yeah. If you can't accept that and you think your life is going to be better doing something else, then by all means go. And we've had people leave the industry completely who message us back within a week or two and be like, can I come back? Sorry, no. You had your chance. We were easy on you.
Yeah.
You got to wear whatever you wanted to work. You got everything provided for you. You had a nice, easy 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and you still couldn't do it. Yeah. And it's like, you're the problem. Good luck with you. 100%. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. I think we're really like... In working in recruitment, it's almost like a dark arts kind of secret. But what we do, you know, we do, and it can accumulate very large amounts of wealth from like just having conversations with people.
Yeah.
We were talking about it earlier. I can't remember. Like the missus will always think, what are you actually doing? Like, you're just having a fucking chinwag with a client.
Yeah.
Like, you spent 90% of that phone call just chatting shit. And
talking about Man United. Like,
and then the last 10% of that phone call is
better teams are available.
Yeah. Brackley Town.
Cough.
No, but you're right. But like, I spent 9% talking about football. I spent 10% talking about
work.
The pitch. Yeah.
And that is actually what's made me the money. But the reason I can talk about the 10% is because I know how to make 9% count. Like,
because that 90% led you to that.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's explaining that to people.
It's knowing, because look, the recruitment is an emotive sales process, right?
Yeah.
Like on paper, if you had a CV that ticked all of the boxes, so if we're talking about accountants, so you got a qualified accountant who has done X, Y, and Z in that particular industry and has got the right salary and all that sort of stuff, on paper you could just hire that person, right?
Yeah.
But it's culture, isn't it? People are going to look at that and think, but we just don't see it. We don't see it, and therefore they don't hire that person. So we've got to get behind the emotion behind it. We've got to understand who these guys really are. I mean, Nitin plays some guy who was into like fucking model Warcraft shit. So basically, they used to like dress up as Vikings or whatever and reenact like
civil wars and like Viking wars and things like that. Sent it off to an interview, unbeknownst to the fact that the client was really into it.
Yeah.
And they both hit it off, and they're like, he was like, so this weekend I'm going up to Stoke, and the client was like, why are you going to Stoke? You're like, I'm involved in something. And what team are you in? And he was like, oh my god,
Gryffindor.
Yeah.
But basically that, and that was the reason the guy got hired, because they they had that connection. So you're selling on emotion, right? So that 90% is more important than that 10%. Way more important.
Our job as recruiters is not to look at a job spec, it's to get in between the lines of a job spec and say, like, actually, this is what you want. And that's a perfect example, because like I know so many people who are very well qualified in what we do, but are dickheads. Like, you wouldn't want to work with them. You'd be like, oh, I don't want him in my office because he's a knob. But actually, what we do is we're like, no, they're not a knob because they like World of Warcraft or like whatever. But you make that happen. So yeah, it's a crazy business. I still think at some point the marketing go, whoa, hold on, like, stop paying them that amount of money because that's mental. Like, and
but they've tried it. Look at internal recruiters.
Oh yeah, internal recruiters, fixed fee, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
the industry is not going to go away. I don't think AI is going to impact the industry in that much detail either.
No, because it's too humanised to do it.
Because again, we're selling on emotion, right?
That's right.
And it's going to make our life easier. I think we need to embrace like, actually, I'm lazy, so I need to do this.
I'm glad you said that, right? Because so we've launched on RecTalk an AI job builder, like a job ad writer,
I saw that.
and the blog writer.
Yeah.
And I tagged a few people in it, and they were like, no, it can't do the job properly, it can't do this, it can't. And they were really negative about it, which, okay, that's people's opinion. But when I pushed back, it was sort of like, you don't have a true understanding of what this AI tech actually is. And because you don't have a good understanding of what it is, you think all the obvious stuff. It's just going to plagiarize, it's going to copy things, it's not going to be right. Listen, I ain't saying go on there and be like, write me a job ad for a management accountant in Coventry. What I'm saying is, you can get it to do the bare bones of what you want and then fine tune that shit.
Refine it,
refine that shit until it looks good.
How much time does it
because
save
as an agency owner who, for the most part, of the 39,000 recruitment agencies out there, the bulk of those are 1 or 2 man businesses who haven't got the time to put out blogs, who haven't got the time to write adverts from scratch, who haven't got the time to be engaging on LinkedIn. Use AI. That will help
100%.
you. Yeah.
Because most of the time, what I think AI will do is give you like a basis to start off with.
Yeah.
And you refine
The framework.
it, make it good.
Yeah.
Like, it will give you the raw ingredients to a recipe and you make it fucking nice.
That's it.
So,
well, the guys, they were using Ad Builder before that, which is basically, have you used Ad Builder? Yeah, so that's just a basic form that says, what about this, what about this?
Yeah.
It's bloody rubbish, mate.
But you still have to refine it though, right? At the end of it, you still look at it and they give you an option to edit it.
Yeah.
So we use that, and 9 times out of 10, you're like, nah, I'll just switch it. But what it does, it gives you like a skeleton. Yeah. You're like, okay, I'm just going to do
fill
this.
in the blanks, right?
Yeah. Whereas if you start with a blank page, you're like, okay.
But this is the difference between AI, right, and Job Builder, which is an algorithm-based app, right? So it would the problem with like things like Job Builder is that you would end up with Ad Builder, is that you'd end up with like, I'm recruiting for a sales manager.
Yeah.
For a sales manager in a sales manager environment, looking for a sales manager, because it's kind of like
that's because the job boards have said like the reason to get you the way to get your jobs ranked higher is repetition of job title.
Yeah. No, but Ad Builder's not that bad. Ad Builder actually works all right.
Fuck you, Total Jobs.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, but
fuck you, Total Jobs.
Ad Builder's not so bad because with Ad Builder, it does literally just give you kind of a list of things, and it creates a semi decent advert. I mean, look, does it create something that Mitch Sullivan would be proud of? Absolutely not.
No.
But does anyone?
Well, I don't think Mitch Sullivan could write an ad that he'd be proud of.
No.
Yeah. Prove me wrong, Mitch.
Yeah, he's a legend.
I'd be inclined to send Mitch Sullivan a Mitch Sullivan advert and be rip this apart, and I bet he'd find something wrong with it.
It'd be a very funny one line response like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Right, so I think that concludes.
Yeah,
our,
it certainly does.
we've been
Listen,
doing
if you've
2 hours
enjoyed
now.
this episode, yeah. So much for the 45 minutes,
I know.
half an hour, 45 minutes. But
I mean,
this
an
has
hour
been
and that
good.
was
It's
fucking
been,
Will having a piss,
no, I
wasn't
think
it?
I think this has been useful for a lot of people who are like us, right?
Aspiring recruitment business owners. Yeah.
Recruitment business owners, aspiring recruitment business owners, understanding the journey. You're not on your own. These challenges that you've gone through the last few years, we've been there.
And actually,
We are going
there
through it. We get it. Reach out to us. Feel free to connect with us.
this is what I
Feel
was
free to
gonna say.
talk to us about
There's
it.
other business owners out there who are prepared to have a conversation with you. I reached out to 2 accountancy and finance agency owners, but just before we settled, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And they just fucking totally blanked me. Totally blanked me. I was just like, look, mate, I just wanted to pick your brains about kind of challenges and this, that, and the other. Totally blanked it.
There are good people out there. People like Will, for all your generalist recruitment needs in the Northamptonshire
Are you recruiting at
area.
the minute in your team?
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone's good.
If someone's good, always open, right?
Yeah,
that's it. That's
the
it. That's the
area.
way to do it.
Yeah.
That's
Not
the
you,
way to
Dom.
do
Fuck you.
it. Not you, Dom.
Actually, Dom,
Yeah.
please come back.
You stick it out there, dumber.
Yeah.
No, but look, guys, thank you for listening today. Will, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, Will, thank you for being the marshmallow and this hot chocolate that we call a podcast.
Hey, there you
Take some
go.
white.
And we'll see you guys again next time. Will, we'd love to get you back on again.
I'll be back on you. Yeah.
Excellent.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Lads, that's fucking so good. Thank you so much.
No,
I
appreciate
enjoyed
your
it.
time, mate.
help Tristan because he looks like my battery's about to die.
You okay, Justin?
I'm fucking best.
He's freaking out.
Yeah, you go,
Tristan's
boys.
freaking out.